CBS News. A Detroit man charged in the murder of missing 13-year-old Naziah Harris appeared in court Friday morning. A not guilty plea was entered on behalf of Jarvis Butts, a 42-year-old man charged with first-degree premeditated murder, second-degree criminal sexual conduct, and child sexual abusive activity. Butts is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with Naziah, who was last seen getting off her school bus at the corner of Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive in Detroit on January 9th, 2024. Her body has never been found. During Friday's court hearing, a calendar conference date was set for March 7th at 9 a.m. A calendar conference allows the legal teams the opportunity to discuss trial logistics, including motion hearing and motion filing dates. Butts also has been charged with the sexual abuse of 2 other girls in separate cases. On January 9th, Judge Aaliyah Sabri sent the case over to the Third Circuit Court for trial following 4 days of testimony and preliminary examination. "You're the monster in this whole picture," Sabri told Butts in court last week. Naziah did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored. She was neglected. You took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. I pray for the healing of all the victims and the young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. This is a serious matter right here. This is a case, if I could break it down to my own understanding, and correct me if I'm not all the way right with my details. This is a case where the guy, Butts, had already served time in prison, multiple years, for sexual assault, predator charges. He comes home from prison, he meets a woman. He stays with this woman. The woman who he meets stays with her mother. So this is a woman living with her mother. She has a boyfriend or a friend that's in prison. He comes home and they have children of their own, several children of their own. Now, the woman has a sister. The sister is not stable. For whatever reasons, she has some things that she needs to get together in her life. So she's not stable. But she has a 10-year-old daughter. So the 10-year-old daughter comes to live with them so that her mommy can get herself together. So now this 10-year-old daughter, this 10-year-old girl, is pretty much in the house with her auntie and her auntie's boyfriend and her grandmother. The auntie's boyfriend is accused and charged with molesting the 10-year-old. I'm thinking it's year after year after year, because the 10-year-old's at the age of 14 and her body has not been found yet. So I'm thinking that this has been going on for at least 4 years of her life, where her auntie's boyfriend, who she considers her uncle, has been molesting her and violating her. I don't know if she's tried to tell anyone, or just imagine the things that going through her head for those 4 years at that young age. Now, the little girl becomes 14 years old and she becomes pregnant. Pregnant by her auntie's boyfriend, who she considers an uncle, Butts. Now, her name is Naziah. Pardon me for not saying her name. The uncle winds up killing Naziah because she's pregnant with his child. And I don't know what he was thinking, but I'm thinking he may have been thinking that we can't let this go on because this is going to be a big issue and I'm going to wind up back in prison over this right here. So I guess the only way that he could get rid of the evidence of the crime that he's committed is to get rid of Neziah. What I want to know is, how did that get pinned on him? If he's been doing this for 4 years and nobody brought it to anyone's attention, this is a case that goes back though. It goes back quite some time. I don't know what was said in these trials because I wasn't covering it. I wasn't looking up on it. Later on, after doing some research in the trial, it was found that there was text messages in Neziah's phone telling him that she was pregnant and that maybe they need to get a test. So now he's thinking, I gotta make this go away. And now we have the body of Neziah missing and Butts in custody. Apparently, he was telling her to take another test, and as he was in disbelief and denial that she was pregnant, she took another test and she said, yes, I'm pregnant. And there was evidence that she was at his car shop and all of a sudden she becomes missing. One thing I can honestly say about this is a sad situation. And my condolences go out to the family of Neziah. And I hope that this guy Butts gets exactly what he deserves in a matter like this. Now, I know that only God can judge a man, but I think it's time for him to spend the rest of his life in prison. As far as little kids, you gotta look out and look after the little kids. And also, you gotta do research on people when you let them in your home. Now, I don't know if this was a case where Neziah was already in the household when Butts showed up, or if Neziah came after Butts showed up. I'm thinking that she came afterwards because they had several children after he got him home from prison. But somebody has to look out for the kids. And this is a case where I think that if you're a woman and you're going to bring a man into your home that just came from prison, that you should do all of your research on this man, because there was a lot of things that came up about this man that if the woman would have known, she probably wouldn't have left him in her home. This is something that happens a lot, not just this case right here. It's people all over the world that's coming home from prison and entering families and have all kind of charges on them that you may not know about. All kind of things that they've been charged for. Now, it's up to us to do the research. And it's not always men. It's not always men. It's a lot of women out there with all kind of charges and histories that you might not be aware of. It's up to us to do the research on them privately, because they're only going to tell you what they want you to know. When I met my wife, I told my wife a lot about my life and a lot of other things that she probably found out. She found out in time or on her own. No one says you got to do this research all in one day. But as you get to know a person, especially a stranger, especially someone who has charges, who just came home from prison, it's your job to do the research on these people. And I think if we did that, then we could protect our children a whole lot better. I'm not sure where Naziah's mom is at this point in her life. And I know she's feeling really, really bad about this situation. And I pray for her strength. And I pray that she gets better mentally dealing with this whole situation. And I hope that they find the body, because at least finding Naziah's body will give someone some peace. And what I gotta say about this is we have to listen to our children, look at signs, take their phone away from them every now and then. Wait till they go to sleep. Go through their phone. Look at what your children are looking at. God knows if someone would have been looking, see, I didn't have a cell phone when I was little, but if someone would have came in my room and looked up under my mattress, they probably would have seen little magazines of me looking at women, you know. As a kid, kids are curious. There's a lot of things going on. Pay attention to your kids' friends, who they're playing with. Meet the parents of your kids' friends. A lot of us as adults, we will allow our kids to go stay the night over at one of their friends' house and have a sleepover, and we think it's friendly, but we have no idea who's living in that house over there where your kid is sleeping over at. A lot of times we don't care, or we don't pay attention to it. We just say, you want to go and have a sleepover at your friend's house? You can, and you pack a nice bag for them, and you allow them to go over there and have fun. And then the first night may be good, but now it's starting to be a continual thing where your kid is going to stay the night. And you don't know what's happening over there. You're just used to it and you think it's harmless, but there could be something developing over there that you have no knowledge of. No knowledge at all. It could be from someone who's not even in the household, but they live next door. Anything could be happening. The main thing that I think we should do to protect our children from things like this is investigate their cell phones. That'll tell you a lot. Look at their Google searches. That'll tell you a lot about the mind of your child, things that they're interested in. And as far as predators, I don't even think this guy registered as a sex offender when he came home from prison. This is something that Zaniah's aunt should have been aware of. She could have been proactive and probably stopped this from continuing. She probably couldn't stop it from starting because he was probably already on the move, already done got started. But if she would have caught wind of anything that's weird or spooky, she probably could have stopped him in his tracks. Because one thing he don't want to do is go back to prison. I think this video was necessary for a lot of us as adults, because this is still happening in our society today, especially people of our age that may be in their 40s or even 30s. You have children that are probably almost 30 or 30. Things like this could happen tomorrow. And that's why I think this video is important today. So if you have any more information on this case, if you know about this, if you have opinions about this, feel free to leave a comment. If you think this video was informative and you could appreciate me talking about a topic like this on this kind of channel, then hit that like button. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. We really would appreciate that. This your guy Libs from CBN Vlogs. I appreciate y'all tapping in. And always remember, conscious is a way of life. Peace.